Um, uh, as far as Drew, they played it off well. It's because I already knew it was going to be pretty much a major feud, a grudge between him and Punk. So to make it make sense, yeah, it made sense that Punk was going to interfere after what he did to him on SmackDown last week. When he beat him to a bloody pulp and then carried him. So yeah, I figured that was going to happen. That was kind of predictable. Okay, what else?
Well, here's the thing. You had all these other superstars that could have used the money in the bank to elevate them.
True.
So no one got elevated.
Yeah.
And I think that was a missed opportunity. And I know it didn't really work so well for Austin Theory, but you know, Damian Priest got elevated based off Money in the Bank. And you have Carmelo.
Second person to cash in at WrestleMania after Seth Rollins.
Right. So you have Carmelo. You have what's his name? Jey Uso.
Yeah.
And you also have wait, who's this over here? I can't even see what bit. Oh, we also have not what's his name? I can't remember his name. Alpha Academy dude. I can't remember his name right
Chad
now.
Gable.
And you got Chad Gable. So
the mini-me Kurt Angle.
Right. And I don't think LA Knight needs it because I think he's probably, you know, after
they need to give him the mid-carder title first because that's those are the workhorse titles, and then give him the world title. That's what they usually do when you're a fan favorite like that. They did it with Austin. They did it with Michaels.
But he already kind of headlined a pay-per-view with Roman already. So to me, I think he's kind of, mid-up card in my opinion.
He's mid-up card. They need to give him the mid-card title. That's where he's at.
Well, I know he wasn't going to win because he still has an open program with Logan Paul. So, Logan Paul eventually got to lose that title and give it to someone who's going to be on TV. And I think he's the best person to do it. Right?
Yeah, it makes sense to give it to have LA Knight beat him for it. Or anybody, really. Give it. Well, Carmelo Anthony turned heel when he left NXT and started going on SmackDown. So it won't make sense to give it to him because that's two heels. It's got to be a babyface that gets it.
I don't know, because Damian wasn't really a babyface.
He was a heel, so it won't make sense to have him drop it to a heel unless it's like a triple threat match. On a one-on-one program, it ain't gonna make sense to put him up against a heel because it's heel versus heel.
What did you think about what do you think about the match itself, the Money in the Bank match? Like, how do you think it was done?
The spots were all right. I wish they could have used the table spot. The girls did the table spot.
I'm gonna get to the girls, but go ahead. That's next.
Yep. I'm only for the most part. It was a good match, action wise. They just didn't do the table spot I wanted them to do.
I think it was tame. I think LA Knight and Drew, they ain't really trying to do all that. Because if you look at the spots that were done, it was
bigger guys. Yeah,
right.
They're not the aerobatic type wrestlers like everybody else was in that match. That's why they put the other smaller guys aside from Knight and Drew in there. Those are the high flyers that are going to do all the exciting stuff in the match.
Because even the Chad Gable spot that he hit LA Knight with was it a belly overhead onto the ladder out the ring to the floor?
Yeah, that's a hardcore bump, but he didn't do nothing like really like high. LA Knight didn't do nothing like high flying flips from high elevation. He just did like a regular hardcore through the ladder spot, like something similar to like what you would see Taz do to Sabu in ECW back in the day. Only the spot would be through a table. Like he'd suplex Taz over the rope
Right.
like a T-bone suplex over the ropes through a table.
It was. I think it was. It was mild. I wouldn't say it was tame. It was mild. Nothing.
Yeah, it
crazy.
was.
Which kind of brings me to the women's Money in the Bank. And first off, we got to say who won. It was definitely Tiffy time. I rightly predicted Tiffy time was going to win. I think it is her time. You know what I mean? I think it was really between her and Chelsea. I think no one else had a chance. It was either going to be her or Chelsea. EO, you won last year. You wasn't getting it. Valkyra, you need some more work. Zoe, I don't even know why you on the main roster. Naomi, it could have been you. You was a dark horse because I'm thinking you kind of put that in your deal when you re-sign that they got to give you a title shot in the near future. But you know, to me, it's Tiffany or Chelsea, and well, Canada Chelsea. You know what I mean? What you think? Or what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I kind of figured Tiffany was gonna get it. Like I didn't care too much about the star power and the girls. I knew Io wasn't gonna get it because they had the title on her for like the longest time, and like nobody cared. Like she wasn't like when she was at WrestleMania, like in her championship match defending the title, like you didn't get a reaction from the crowd or anything. Like nobody cares about Io Sky really. As far as Chelsea Green, Zoe Starks, I mean Zoe is like she's more of like the chick you would see maybe if they give her a title, it might be the women's tag titles. I could see her getting that in the future. Chelsea Green, nah.
Cut it out, bro. She's a star, bro. She is one of the best rehires from when Vince let all those people go. She is the most solid rehire.
True, but she's not ready yet. I mean, she needs a little more time. They need to give her more time.
You see her match at Clash of the Castle?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was good. It was good. But yeah, they still got to.
I mean, not Clash of the Castle. No. Yeah. Clash of the Castle was the big girl. The match.
You mean the other paper? Okay, you mean the other
paper? Yeah, the one before that. The one before that. She
I know which one you were talking about. Yeah,
she could wrestle. So now that we know it's Tiffany Stratton, what you think is going to happen with her? Like, what's her path?
It's kind of unpredictable when she'll cash in. So there ain't no telling when she gonna cash in. It ain't gonna be like with Damian Priest to where you kind of got the feeling that he was gonna wait until WrestleMania.
He had so much false cash-ins. I don't know when he was gonna do that, man.
I always had the feeling, like a gut feeling, that he was gonna wait until WrestleMania.
Well, the clock was running out, so it's either after he almost made it to the next Money in the Bank. So I didn't think he had much room to do it.
Yep.
So to me, Tiffy is the right choice, and I think her promo skills are okay. I think they're getting better, but I think she's just gonna be real annoying with it. And even I was watching a press conference, she wanna make it out of a purse, and I think that's her being creative, and I think that will make her stand out from the previous people.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to move. I got mad question, but we're going to move along to, and I know this one kind of threw people for a loop. The IWC was kind of complaining. Braun Breaker versus Sami Zayn. I'm gonna let you go first. What's your thoughts on it?
The right guy won. Sami doesn't. He's not a carryover champion for somebody like Braun. Braun just barely got there, so Braun has to really earn it. He needs more time to earn it. So I don't see him getting the title until later down the line anyway. Sami is he's gonna have it for a little while. That's how I see it. It was a good match. Good spots. Yeah, I like the match, but I can see them having rematches where Sami comes out on top pay-per-view wise. But But maybe if they have some matches that are non-title, on Raw,
Right.
I could see Braun having upset victories on him.
Like what you call it? What they call that? A
Yeah,
contender match. But I think WWE stopped doing that. That's more of an AEW
it'd be
thing.
something similar to that. Like it'd just be like a non-title match,
Hmm.
or maybe he will beat him by surprise. Like maybe WWE should throw us a curveball and give him a surprise title win on an episode of Raw. So then that'll bring us to a pay-per-view to where now Sammy gotta win it back.
I don't know, man. Triple H not really good for swerves, bro. I've been looking for the swerves of his booking, and it's pretty linear and straightforward. I don't know they're gonna circle back. You know what I mean? I think Sammy's gonna move on to. I don't even know who the next up in line for the Intercontinental Championship will be. I think Sammy's gonna move past.
He already beat Chad Gable, so he's out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the next star that they're gonna push?
I hope it's not Bronson Reed, man, because I'm tired of that dude, bro. I think he needs to get up out of there, man. Send him back to NXT. Stop trying to make him a thing, man.
Yeah, he's not it.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe the Wyatts could attach themselves to Sammy or something. I think that would be dope. I think some opportunity there. They got who else they got? They got who's in the stable? They got my homie, the one that doesn't talk. I can't remember his name right now. Who came out with Miz recently? It was part of the way.
Oh, that guy. He was in NXT. Like
I can't remember his name.
Yeah,
He's been on TV. He's been on TV too damn long. Let me pull up the members of the Wyatt Six. So that's important. We should know that. Yeah, you got Uncle Howdy. Uncle Howdy could
Yeah, that's Bray's little brother. Yeah.
He could hold down the title. All right, so we got. Whoa, that's the old Wyatt family. They give him Luke.
Wyatt Six.
I pulled it up with freaking Luke Harper in it. Let's see. Go down real quick. So we know
Rowan is in it.
Who?
Rowan is in it.
Rowan's in it. Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy. That's what I was thinking.
Dexter Lumis. That's the silent dude.
Right. I'm thinking Joe Gacy would be a good person to make a run for it. Let's see. Moving on. We're going for the. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing them. Oh, no, I'm not missing a match. Here we go. Money in the Bank match. Damian Priest versus the Architect. I'm again. Is it too late for me? I feel like I'm Joe Biden right now. Seth Rollins. There you go. Seth Rollins. So, thoughts before I go. Go ahead.
Seth, I kind of got the feeling that Drew was gonna come cash in and make it a triple threat, kind of like how Seth did at Mania that one year between Roman and Brock. Yeah, he was trying to get it back like that, but then it was also predictable that CM Punk was going to come out and stop him too. So it was predictable. That storyline was pretty predictable.
Did they deliver?
It delivered, but it was predictable.
Let's see. I'm happy of the result because I didn't want Damian to lose it. And I know Seth was going to win, but I know they couldn't put over Damian clean over Seth. So some shenanigans had to get down. And then the stipulations were that Damian had to leave the Judgment Day, which would have been a good thing in my opinion. And Seth can never challenge Damian again while he's champ.
So that means Seth can't challenge him no more because he didn't win the triple threat after the cash in. So now the beef with Punk is not just Drew, it's with Seth too.
That's right. That's right. And I like how they're getting smart now and just putting things together. I like that little brief interaction with CM Punk and Seth Rollins. I thought that was good. I like how they cut CM Punk's shirts to make him look more brolic than he is. and he goes and he kind of lays in on beat the brakes off of what's his name? Off of who's the guy that cashed in? I'm getting real tired tonight.
Drew McIntyre?
Drew McIntyre, there we go. So he kind of because he's supposed to be hurt, right? So he's not cleared, but he's doing a lot of physicalities because they had Drew beat him on SmackDown, right? Well, they didn't really show him beating him, but they showed him carrying him and he was bloody and all that. But tonight we saw him taking a chair, hammering it, jumping in the ring, moving around. He looked like he's ready. So hopefully he gets cleared.
Oh yeah, he should be.
But it kind of shows me like what they're gonna do next because he has to go beat Gunther now. I don't think that's possible. I don't think he's gonna beat Gunther, and they already planting the seeds that Finn is looking at him a little crazy.
Yeah, I could see him splitting up from Judgment Day anyway, because him and Finn have some animosity, and then to get to the point to where Finn will start challenging him for the title.
So yeah, I think he has to lose it. He has to lose it. So he would have to lose it to Gunther, and then we could do a Judgment Day civil war or implosion, or maybe Mommy might be back by then. But it's I don't think he's beating Gunther. I don't see it, and that way we could put Seth to the side without why he's not in title contention, and then of course you got CM Punk and Drew, and possibly they might throw Seth in the mix because we know CM Punk has to fight Seth at some point. We know that has to happen. All right, now we're going on to wait. Let me see. I think I have a question in between that. Because I take notes. I take this serious. You know what I mean? So, what do you think of Drew McIntyre's overall, since he re-signed, his overall, I would say, performance?
In the Money in the Bank match.
No. I mean, the match,
the entire pay-per-view, or
his character in general. Since he re-signed, since The Rock gave him that big sword, and we thought he was going to go to AEW. What do you think about his performance, his character, the whole DM hunk, what you think about his whole thing?
He's a better heel than he was a face, for sure. I didn't care for him when he was a baby face, like when he beat Brock Lesnar and even last year when he was a face. It's one of those things kind of like when Roman was a baby face and people weren't really feeling him, but then when he became a heel, people were feeling him a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Some guys are just better heels than they are baby faces.
I would say this. They did a scene after the pay-per-view where he goes to the desk where you have Big E.
Yeah, I saw that.
Big E, and you have I'm losing my brain today. Not Kayla, the new Kayla Braxton, and you have Bad News Barrett, and he comes there. It reminds me of like the 80s when they did the press conferences, and you thought it was real. He came through. He got into it with Nick Aldis, with not Ace. I'm saying Ace Diamond, but the GM for Raw, and
fuck, I forgot his name too.
It's late, but he pushes him, and they interact, and look like they was about to fight, and then Ray Barrett got in between them, and I was like, yo, this is great character work, man. Like, I think this is top tier Drew. I don't think his style ever been any higher.
That's called a good. Yeah, that's a good angle that they did right there. Good kayfabe angle. It's a work. That's what they call it. It's called a work.
But it looks like a shoot, and you don't want to work yourself into a shoot, but it looks like a shoot.
Yeah, but it's a work.
Yo, Andrew, man, I was talking to you on WhatsApp, bro. I know you got a lot of comments. Just give me your full rundown. We didn't talk about the Bloodline match yet, but you can talk about all the 4 matches prior. Give me your feedback, bro.
Where can I begin?
Start with the men's Money in the Bank.
I must have. Man, I didn't really see much of it because I was in the middle of trying to get some order dominoes, but I kind of saw a little bit of the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I'm just gonna say I like the part when Chad Gable, I think his name Gable, when he was hanging from the rafter. That was pretty dope. And then I guess he kind of fell flat down. I was like, oh damn, that was a hard landing. I was like, is he all right? And then when Jay went ahead and did the spear, that was pretty dope. And I think he got the ladder, and he was I thought he was gonna win the ladder in the Money in the Ladder match, especially the way they were promoting him, calling it the heat case. Just to see him. See, it wouldn't have bothered me. I'll be honest about my honest opinion. It wouldn't really have bothered me if he didn't win and somebody else unpredictable win, like Carmelo Hayes or who else hasn't won it? Who else was in there? I'm sorry.
Andrade. I put it up there. Andrade. LA was in it.
Or yeah. I actually wanted I really wanted Jay to win it. But I thought if Jay wasn't going to win it, they would have given it to at least LA Knight, because he didn't win it last year, I believe. So they should have at least given him, because he was trying to get that title for the longest time, chasing that title. But we were in the Roman Reigns era with the tribal chief going on with the hundreds of days of reigning as champion. But
did you see the girls?
Yeah, man. Drew won that. How many times are they gonna give Drew McIntyre chances to win that title, man? Like, come on. This is, to me, I don't know.
Yeah, where he beat Brock Lesnar.
Okay, if I was gonna write the match Money in the Bank, I would have had at least, it would have made better sense if AJ Lee would have came in and pushed Drew McIntyre off the ladder and he fell down to the table. Because listen, he took the bracelet, man. Listen, he took the family bracelet. It would have made better sense if AJ Lee. I was expecting AJ Lee to return tonight, but instead it was another. He actually won the Money in the Bank clean, and I was like, wow. So that's what we going? That's what we doing again?
Yeah.
I mean, come on, man. Like, I wanted to slap the holy crap out of the writers, man. I wanted to slap the holy crap out of the
between him and Punk.
They what?
They did it for the sake of the storyline between him and Punk, because he cashed in. Did you see that?
They could have. Yeah, I've seen that, but they could have did something different, man. They could have rewrote it something different. It was just a waste of a Money in the Bank. I was more entertained with the women's ladder Money in the Bank. That was entertaining. That was entertaining.
Yeah, they did a table spot. The men didn't do a table spot. The girls went harder than the guys this year.
Did you see that move? What happened to Zoe Sparks? I think on that ladder. Who did that move to her? Did you see that drop she landed? I was like, holy shit! Is she all right?
I didn't see that one, but I saw Chelsea's spot, because she comes to me as delicate, like she didn't really want to get hurt. That spot of her falling up the ladder, out the ring to the tables, that was perfect, man. That was a good spot for her.
You know what? I thought maybe they were gonna give it to her for the sake of it because she's like the R-Truth of the women's division. I mean, that's just kind of doing her little goofy skits and stuff. But I mean, that's
Yeah,
cool. I mean, that's her character.
she's a one woman
I
icon.
thought they were gonna give it to her because she's at the home.
True.
Yeah,
True.
and she's at her home crowd. So you would think they would give it to her, but man, let me tell you something. One thing I gotta say is WWE they really fooling me with this one now because I just didn't really expect all this to go down. Well, I'm glad that what's her name won, the girl with the blonde hair, Tiffany. Is that her name?
Yeah, Tiffany.
Yeah, I'm glad Tiffany won. I'm glad she won. That kind of made sense. But I was just more entertained with the women's ladder match, to be honest with you. Really disappointed that Jey Uso didn't win the Money in the Bank, but hopefully I think they're gonna set up something between the family because they're gonna have a civil war, I believe, a bloodline civil war, so they're setting that all up. But if they're gonna set that up, right? If they were gonna set that up, they should have made what's his name, Otanga, be in it to make it make sense. What's his name, Otanga?
He was. Well, I think they're gonna bring. What are you talking about? Another one that didn't show up yet? Who's not signed yet?
Oh,
because it's
Tonga. What was his name?
They brought in the one that was in New Japan.
Tonga,
one of the founders of the Bullet Club. Yeah,
but he was in the match. He was in the match. But this match is supposed to show off Jacob Fatu. But before we get there, because hold on, we didn't talk about that yet. Give me your thoughts on Sammy and Braun Breaker, real quick, Andrew.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I kind of missed out on this match. I missed this one, man. I didn't catch this one. I missed this one, man. I kind of stepped out and I was doing some other stuff. So what can you give me the rundown? What happened between them?
Sammy won. It was a good match. What about Seth and our boy Damian Priest? They cashed in CM Punk. Give me a feedback on
I just feel like this is just deja vu. Just everything's just all happening all over again. This is just I'm just getting a feel of WrestleMania all over again, man. It's like, God damn, man. It's like, come on. The writer should have did something better than something unique, man. But
it was
the match overall was okay. It was just too predictable, man. You kind of knew what was gonna happen. Seth, I don't know what's going on with Seth. I think fatherhood is catching up to him, man, with the injuries and everything. He just didn't really look too good, especially when he was trying to pick up Priest. He's trying to suplex Priest off the top rope. I'm like, damn, what the hell is going on with Seth, man? He gotta hit the gym or something.
It looked crazy. Remember, Priest is a big guy. I don't think people know how big Priest is.
Yeah, he's 7 foot tall almost.
Yeah, Seth is 5'11", if I'm not mistaken. So he makes up for his size a lot. But yeah, that was a little rough. I saw that, but he made it work. He didn't botch it. He caught it, but it didn't look nice. It didn't look pretty. You know what I mean? All right.
Nah.
So I do. Go ahead.
No, I mean, when Drew McIntyre came and he was kind of like teasing the whole match and joint like that. And then when he finally came, I believe, and he cashed in the Money in the Bank, I was like, okay, well, I guess he's going to prove to everybody, hey, I'm a man of my word. I said I was going to do it, and he was going to actually do it. He said he was going to win Money in the Bank. He won it. He said he's going to cash it in and win the championship, but that didn't happen. So,
well, he did cash it
in there, and he did, but he didn't win the championship. So I don't know what type of meltdown we're going to see on Monday night from Drew McIntyre.
He already started melting down, bro. Did you see the post show?
Yeah,
he's going to be PMS and everything.
Yo, and that's already
did.
Oh, I didn't see the post show. No, I didn't see that. But I'm going to say this, though.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this, man. If I was gonna rewrite the whole story, if I was gonna rewrite the story, I would have had AJ Lee push him off the fucking ladder and make him drop like 7 feet in the air down to the tables. That would have been cool as hell. And then like she would just come in with a hoodie, you wouldn't even know who she is. All you see is just this figure pushing him down. And the next minute, oh my God, it's AJ Lee, you know, and the whole crowd would go crazy. It would be a big pop, right? And then she goes and she just takes her bracelet off of Drew McIntyre's wrist. That would have made sense. And then the whole crowd would have been, holy shit, she's back, right? And then you would have Drew have a meltdown in the post conference, and I would have him say, "Oh, you had to send your wife to do your job, you pussy. You couldn't do it yourself." Like, you gotta do something that's gonna be entertaining. That's gonna, like, you can't just do the whole same predictable stuff, man. To me, I just think it was a waste of the case. It shows it doesn't show any value in the case now. They just completely destroyed
AJ Lee, though. That's kind of stretching it because she's not even signed with WWE, so it wouldn't make sense for her to come in.
Well, bro, I mean, she's messing with the family, man. She took the family bracelet. Lily, wasn't it that their family dog or something? Something like
listen,
that? Or was it? I don't know.
Listen, Punk addressed it during the conference. He don't want to speak for her. She's also doing other things. So we don't know if they could put her in it, but it's WWE, bro. If they want to sign AJ Lee, they could sign her tomorrow, have her show up on Raw. Like, it's nothing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he said that he didn't want to say never that she would be in the storyline. But yeah, with the bracelet, you would think that she might do a run-in, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
But I just think it just devalues the whole the men's money in the briefcase thing. That was just a waste.
So you think it would have been better given to somebody else to elevate them, right?
Yes. It would because if it was somebody new, then you could bring somebody into the story of that title match to disrupt all of them later on down. Because everybody will just, you know how they patiently wait, you know, long-term booking. WWE has always been good with doing long-term booking. So when you create a long-term booking in a story, let's just say if somebody holding a briefcase for a while, it creates anticipation. And then some people may forget after some time. And then all of a sudden that person's music hits and then you wouldn't even expect it. And he goes and he cashes it in. I mean, to me, I just didn't understand it was senseless of Drew McIntyre winning that briefcase tonight.
Well, I would add this. They didn't want to give it to LA because LA is going to go he's going to go against Logan Paul. And I think Jey Uso is going to be pulled into the bloodline vortex. And Andrade wasn't ready. And Carmelo Hayes hasn't been built up enough. Yeah. So I could see why they did that. You know, and I think what's his name? Why am I keep calling him Shorty G, man? Damn you, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, but Jey Uso is just way too over, man.
He's
way over. He's a super freaking face. We haven't had a strong face like that in a long time. He's way too over. I think he should have won that and he should have won the briefcase.
I agree.
Because you could have had him cash it in a long-term booking. You could still put him in the storyline with the Bloodline Saga storyline and have him still have the case. You know, that way you create the long-term booking. I just think
he would have to win, though. He would have to win. He would have to win.
Of course he's gonna win. But it would be epic. It would be epic once he cashes it and he finally wins it.
I think Hunter doesn't want to put himself in that Austin Theory situation again. Also, because if you give it to him, he has to win it. Drew doesn't have to win it. You know what I mean? So
but Jay's too over though. He's gonna win it. They're gonna give it to him. He's way too over as a face. Way too over as a face.
Yeah, definitely is. So let me talk to you. Let's talk about the Bloodline match because that's what we was up to right now. I'm gonna let you go first, Roger. Go ahead.
All right. Which one?
The last match. So Triple H, I don't know if you guys noticed, he's been only doing 5 matches per PLE. So
yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
So everyone can't get on. And I'm like, okay. And he made a comment about waiting for a 7-hour pay-per-view. Like, I don't know if it was a jab at AEW or not, but he definitely mentioned that. But yeah, let's talk about the Bloodline, the main event. What you guys think? Your boy Jacob Fatu debut, in the ring debut, well, match debut, you could say.
It was. I'm impressed. It was a long time coming. They finally he finally came in where he belonged with the rest of his fam. In the booking on it, the booking made sense because you got to put over the new bloodline since it just barely started. So it made sense for them to win. It wouldn't have made sense for Cody, Kevin, and Orton to win because then the new bloodline will look weak.
Right. Oh, guys, don't forget to hit the like button. We got 15 people watching right now, so I should get 15 likes. All right. So thank you guys for watching.
Okay.
Right. Go ahead, Andrew. Tell me your thoughts on the Bloodline match.
Man, I just want to talk about that botch to the low blow that Loa did. Yo, I was like, listen, if I'm Kevin Owens, man, and I felt somebody coming from behind me like that, I mean, pause. I would have at least did something, man. But come on, how you not catch that? How you miss that botch, man?
No, you know what happened? I think he.
It's like he uppercut him.
I think he was almost concussed, bro. If you watch the replay, he was almost concussed and he was a little out of it. So he almost missed the cue. So he just had to do it over. You know what I mean? But yeah, he did. He did. I thought that was hilarious.
Ridiculous, man.
What do you think about Jacob? What do you think about Jacob Fatu, man?
Jacob Fatu. I'm still getting used to the guys' names, man. To be honest, because they're fairly new. He's the one with the short hair, correct?
No, he's the one with the dreads.
Well, the dreads. Oh, hey, that guy. Let me tell you something, man. If Rey Mysterio was a Samoan, that's Fatu right there. Like the guy's moves is amazing. The way he moves like a Lucha Libre, man. With that size, unbelievable.
Yeah, that's vicious.
I never seen a big guy like move that fast in the ring like that. But he pulled off a good performance, man.
I think they're trying to spoon feed us because he didn't do too much, but he did just enough to give us a glimpse.
We're going to see more of him in the next coming weeks, and we're going to see more of his art. See him pull out more of his arsenal, so to speak.
So I want you guys to look at this. Look how quickly they made these unknown Usos in a main event match. We don't even know much about the Tonga brothers. Jacob Fatu just showed up last week. And they're headlining a PLE, and we care about it. You know what I mean? So, and the title wasn't even on the line, bro. Like I think at first I was a little skeptical. I didn't like the whole, Solo being tribal chief thing, but now I'm with it. I'm all with it. Especially what they did to Heyman last week. I am in. They pulled me back into the Bloodline storyline. I can't believe it.
Well, it's the storyline itself is a saga, so it's going to keep you entertained. I think people are they're knowing what to anticipate. I mean, this is just a setup for Roman, Jimmy, and Jay to collaborate to go against the new bloodline. So I don't know how they're going to get them all together on the same page because the old bloodline is just completely demasticated. Like they're doing their own thing. So somehow I think, and like I said, I mean, I would love to be a WWE writer because I would definitely freaking push that. What I would do, right, is I would try to at least somehow. It's gonna have to be a point where, because let me tell you something. One thing about the twins, Jay and Jimmy, there's always a mutual respect there because even Jay said, "Hey man, I don't want no parts of the new bloodline, but I told Jimmy to come back over here. It seems like Jay still cares about Jimmy, right? So somehow it's gonna be where Jimmy gets back, and I think the crowd's gonna pop, and they're gonna like completely beat the crap out of Jimmy, right? To where Jay's in the building, and then Jay's gonna say, you know what, I can't deal with this anymore, and then that's when Jay's gonna come in to Jimmy's defense, and then that's when you're gonna have them align with themselves back again, right? And I think it's gonna be them against Jimmy and Jay fighting them off for weeks, but the numbers game keeps catching up, and eventually, that's when you're gonna see the return of Roman Reigns. Then Roman Reigns will come back, and then I think that Zilla Fatu will join the old bloodline against the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa. But Solo Sikoa is kind of he's kind of selling me a little bit on this new tribal chief thing. I think it's quite funny because this is a guy who's had like 44 losses, and now he's like the tribal chief now.
He more hungry.
I think it's
listen. He beat John Cena. Don't forget.
Wow. He beat his ass. Don't get it twisted.
John Cena out of his prime, not Super Cena though. He didn't beat Super Cena. He beat John Cena, the retired John Cena.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I'm gonna segue into John Cena real quick. What do you guys think about John Cena's retirement? Announcement of the retirement tour. Because he's not actually retiring. He's going on his last lap, per se.
Yeah. I figured he was going to do that because he's basically doing what The Rock was doing in the 2000s, which is kind of leaving wrestling for Hollywood. So, like, you start seeing him do more and more movies like The Rock started doing in the late 90s, early 2000s until eventually he just went full Hollywood. And then he just come back sporadically up until the point he wasn't back for like a whole decade.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Drew? What you think?
The retirement tour, man, I think to make this spectacular, John Cena has to have a match with somebody that a lot of people are anticipating for him to fight. But who is that person, though? That's the question. Who would be his last match that can really draw people to be like, he has to have this win, except for probably winning that title to go over. Is he tied with Ric Flair right now, if I'm not mistaken?
He is.
He is tied with Ric Flair.
Yeah. So I think for a send-off, they probably have him fight a champion or whoever the WWE champion is and make him win that title, and then he'll probably vacate it like the next week or so or whatever, make his retirement farewell speech and say, hey guys, I've completed my destiny, what I had to do, and blah 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 blah. And now the vacant title, will be vacated. Vacate the WWE championship between well, I don't know. Priest kind of earned it in a way, but I think later on, I think he should be the one to take that belt away from Priest, so that way he can finally complete his story and get over on the Ric Flair, I guess, title holder, the longest title holders. But I don't know. That's just my take on it. And then just send them off, man, and vacate the title. Do like a elimination tournament match or whatever for that title the next following week or two, or do like a pay-per-view. So whoever wins the vacated title, that's when you have Jay win the vacated title or something like that. You know what I mean? But I think John Cena should send him off by winning the title. That's just my opinion.
When you said finish his story, I automatically think Cody Rhodes. So they have to get into it. They have to get into it. They have to get into it. There has to be Cody versus John Cena, and they got to do it. And it doesn't matter who wins, honestly, but they just have to do it. So I think they're gonna do the send off that they should have done for Edge. You know what I mean? If Edge was a little bit malleable, but he wants to go do crazy shit. So I think it's a good idea. And if you're a John Cena fan, like if I know Shawn Michaels is gonna retire, bro, I'd have probably went to all the Shawn Michaels pay-per-views that I could afford.
That's
so if
true.
you're a John Cena fan, now you can put your money up and be like, look, listen, he got 8 matches left. I'm gonna go to this pay-per-view. I'm gonna go to this Raw because this is the last time I see him in person or see him in a ring again.
I'm gonna definitely be at Mania in Vegas.
It's just like
this time, Tijuana ain't too far.
One of my favorite matches I would have loved to seen in their prime would be Sting and The Undertaker. I would have loved to see those two go at it in their prime.
Happening.
But
yeah, it would have been great, but it just wasn't ever meant to be.
Yeah. And also I remember The Rock getting super kicked by Shawn Michaels a long time ago in a storyline where The Rock was trying to go for the belt. But yeah, he was a ref, but Rock never got his back. They never had that match either. That would have been a dream match too to see The Rock versus
they got some kind of beef.
Sean, I know the story behind that. Sean like stiffed him when he kicked him. And, The Rock was pissed, and there is a little bit of beef that goes back to his childhood as to why there was some heat. Michaels kind of didn't like his grandma because he did do shows for his grandma's promotion in Hawaii, the Polynesian Pro Wrestling promotion, which was associated with National Wrestling Alliance. So like he had problems with her. So then later on down the line, he pent frustration from that past from dealing with her. He pent that on The Rock and stiffed him in the match.
Yeah, I think they roughly went over it in his TV show, and he didn't even give Shawn Michaels a name, bro. He named him something
Chad
crazy.
Michaels. He called him Chad Michaels. He made him a black guy with a.
They didn't even use Michaels. They said some other weird name, bro. He really got
Chad Austin or Chad Michaels.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, The Rock had
go ahead.
I think The Rock had some issues with I think backstage he had some issues with Triple H and Shawn Michaels back then, and back then they had themselves the Click. They used to call themselves. Yeah,
he was cool with Trip. He had the problem with Shawn, but Shawn wasn't really wrestling like that at the time anyway, because that leg injury, which is why after that he had to that retired him for a while after he lost to Austin. His back injuries, his leg injuries.
Listen, Shawn Michaels, he went through some changes. It wasn't the God-fearing Shawn Michaels we know now. So we're talking about Click back in the day, Shawn Michaels.
Yeah,
he was a wild boy. He was a wild boy. He was a wild boy back then. Yeah, man. I remember Shawn Michaels was one of my favorites. I like 95 Shawn Michaels, 1995 Shawn Michaels. Yeah, he was a badass.
When he got beat up in the parking lot for real by the Marines for trying to bang one of the wives.
You know what?
Go ahead and whip his ass.
You know what, bro? What I remember from my childhood was Shawn Michaels versus Vader, and they had Vader keep doing the Vader bomb on him, son. And I was crying as a kid. I was like, yo, no, move, Shawn Michaels, move. And he just kept Vader bombing him. And
he cut him up in that match. That match that they had at the Royal Rumble when Shawn was supposed to do his elbow spot or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then it got botched, like Vader messed up, and like Shawn literally cussed him out during the match. That screwed it. After that, Vader's WWE career was pretty much.
I want to throw in this too with the whole New Day saga with what's that group? The AP and
AOP. The final
AOP, yeah.
Karrion Kross.
Yeah. Arian Cross, yeah. Listen, man, that's gonna be a twist. That's gonna be a twist and turn. They're teasing right now for a heel change. Somebody's gonna turn on somebody.
I hope
And
so.
I hope so too. I'm tired of the damn New Day. I'm sorry, man. That
I'm-
whole booty holes
Well,
and
he ain't even wrestling, so it ain't
jumping
even
around
a
in
full
town.
New Day.
Give me a hell yeah.
Listen,
I think Coffee needs to turn heel for Xavier to be a big face.
true.
Well, he's already well.
Xavier needs the. I mean, he was king of the ring, but they didn't really celebrate it properly. And I don't think they celebrated it properly this year, minus that you get the title shot. But to me, they waste Karrion Kross, and to me, he's good. I just think he hasn't got the right. He needs to go back to NXT Karrion Kross, but I think they're still trying to tweak him where he gets to be over. So I hope it works.
I think my prediction is this. I think there's going to be a twist. I think Karrion Kross and Coffee is secretly working with each other, TikTok, and eventually time's up. And I think Coffee is going to do the ultimate heel turn and turn on Xavier.
So you
And it's
think
going to
Kofi-
set up. Huh?
Go ahead. My bad.
No, because it makes sense. Just think about it. Because Xavier is the only one out of the three groups that hasn't won the title. Or you can change it around to where Xavier turns on Woods because Cross is in Woods' ear and say, hey, listen, man, these guys are holding you down. You're the only one in the group has never won a championship. He can say all those type of things. You've never won a championship. Do you think these guys really care about you? You're going to go through all your years in your career without winning a big one? Is that what you want? You're just going to be known as the sidekick, the guy who won a tag team championship with a New Day. But guess what? Coffee's in history, in the books, for winning a WWE title. Big E is in the books for winning a WWE title. You haven't won the big one yet. So either way, there's a lot of plots and turns. You could do so much with that story right there.
I hope so. I really do hope so. All right, I want to ask you guys a question because we got a comment here, basically saying what they thought about the pay-per-view, and I think I said in the beginning that it was like a good episode to watch, but it wasn't nothing like, as a wrestling fan, I watch every pay-per-view regardless. I may not watch it the same day, but I do watch it. So it's kind of like another mid episode. What do you guys think of the score you would give this pay-per-view? Or 5 stars, 4 stars, you didn't like it, it was mid. What you guys think?
Yeah, it was mid, like a 2.5 or 3. It wasn't the best one. There were definitely better Money in the Banks than this one.
True. What do you think, Andrew? I know you had some issues with it.
Man, I give this shit like a 3, bro. I just didn't. The whole thing to me, you just don't hype up Jey Uso as one of your top baby faces, top face, and then on top of it, you got him saying the yeet case. You got him on the cover holding the Money in the Bank. So in people's minds, is like we're anticipating for him to get that briefcase, and then you have Drew McIntyre again with more chances. What was the writers thinking?
You might have a point, man. They can rehabilitate him though. They can rehab him. He still got the Fireflies.
Right, but they didn't. Man, listen. How you name yourself main event Jey Uso, but you can't win a main event? You can't win the big one because now it's looking like Jey just can't win the big one.
You know what? You're right.
Am I wrong for saying it?
No, yeah, bro, you're dead on. You're dead on.
Yeah, they're saving the big win for him.
So
go ahead, Andrew.
They're gonna have to save a big win for him. I'm saying they're gonna have to save a big win for him to win. I think the biggest the next biggest pay-per-view for him to actually win it, I would have to say the Royal Rumble. It would have to be the Royal Rumble. When's the next big pay-per-view? I mean,
SummerSlam.
I don't see him being back into the.
No,
Yeah, but what do you do with Jey Uso? So it's got to. So
maybe he'll be like in a.
Yeah, what do you do with him? Unless they're setting up.
They're gonna set up for Survivor Series. The only thing that makes sense.
Unless they're setting him up. Yeah, right. The only thing that makes sense is that there's going to be Roman's got to be coming back very soon. That's why they're probably doing this, because they're setting up for the rivalry of the blood. You could tell the bloodline rivalry's coming. You got Solo already telling people acknowledge me, and he's wearing the like. Come on, man. He's kind of looking like a mini, handicap version of a Roman Reigns. You know what I mean? Like a Down syndrome Roman Reigns with his short little arms and stuff. I don't know. I'm just messing around with stuff, but I'm just saying.
So I'm glad you.
It's just funny, man.
So two things I'm gonna throw in with that. How is Roman being over more than he's not here? Like, he's super over everywhere he goes. Is we want Roman, and to even put that together with Jey Uso is like, what do we do with him now? We have to put him in a bloodline now. He can't do anything else.
Well, like I said, it's gonna start with Jimmy coming back, and somehow Jay's gonna be in the building. Jimmy's gonna come back. He's gonna get his big pop first, and then he's probably gonna, fight his way, and obviously, fight his way through the bloodline, and eventually, it's gonna be it's just gonna be Jimmy versus the new bloodline, and he's gonna be getting beat up all the time because the numbers game is gonna keep on catching up to him. I mean, he'll probably have Cody and KO and Orton there to help him out a little bit, but it's just too much of a numbers game because they're just too packed right now, the new bloodline. So it's gonna get to a point where Jay is gonna be in the building, maybe at a pay-per-view, and then next minute you will hear Jey Uso's song just pop out of nowhere while Jimmy's getting beat up by the new bloodline, and then you have him racing down, and then the crowd is gonna go crazy because they're like, "Oh shit, the Usos are back!" And the next minute, Jay is helping Jimmy fight off the Usos, but then they're just stretching it. It's gonna be a story where it stretches, and it's gonna set up for Roman's return.
People are gonna be crying because when Paul Heyman reunites with Roman, it's not gonna be a dry eye in that building. It's gonna be Paul Heyman and Jimmy and Jay getting back together. It's gonna be crazy. And if they bring the taller Fatu, or even if they manage to bring Sammy back, it's gonna be pure cinema.
Yeah, I think that's what they're setting up. I think Sammy's gonna drop the belt too. I think he's gonna drop it to I think him and what's that guy's name? Braun. They're gonna have another match again. I think Braun. You don't think so?
They might do it like maybe on an episode.
Who's he gonna drop it to?
See, this is what I don't like about Triple H booking. It's very linear. So I don't think he's gonna spin the block.
I think he might spin the block one more time with Braun. I think Braun is gonna catch it this time. And that's gonna set up for Zammy to go ahead and join the new bloodline. And then Zilla Fatu, he's gonna join with Roman because that's Roman's cousin.
Right. I think they call him Tyler.
I think that's what they do.
I think they named. Yeah. I think they trademarked or copyrighted Tyler Fatu or something already, or Tyler Tunga or something like that.
But my question is, where does The Rock fit in all this? Because The Rock is coming back for his get back. I'm pretty sure with Cody, because he did say to Cody, "Hey, you beat my cousin. That story is over. Our story is just beginning."
Mama Rose.
I think The Rock is gonna. I think The Rock's gonna come back and just whoop that candy ass, and he's gonna take that title from Cody. And I think from there on out, they'll have their storyline. Rock's gonna get the title. He's gonna take it off of Cody, and then somehow I think Rock is gonna get in the mix with the new bloodline to where they're going against Roman and his old bloodline, and I think it's gonna set up to where Roman and The Rock will fight each other for that title at the next WrestleMania, and I think that's when Roman will regain that title back from beating The Rock. I kind of see that setting up.
You can't go wrong with the bloodline, bro. It doesn't matter.
No,
It really doesn't matter. You got too many fly people in there. You got Roman, you got the Wise Man, you got Solo, you got Jacob Fatu, you got Jimmy and Jay. They can't screw it up. I don't see how it's possible.
Well, on another note, I was just thinking too, but for the meantime, what do you do with Jay? Unless he's starting a feud with the Fireflies, with the White family or something like that, which I don't think he wants any part of that.
Yeah, he just might.
So,
They just might set
know.
something up like Captain Howdy. But Captain Howdy is fucking with Chad Gable right now. So
Chad, yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, they're fucking with Chad, oh, man.
Wait, I don't think it's Captain Howdy. What's this guy's name?
Uncle Howdy. I mean Uncle Howdy.
Yeah,
Howdy.
Captain Howdy.
Uncle Howdy.
That was good. Let me see what else I got for you. What do you guys think of CM Punk? He's back again. I know you may not like it. It's kind of predictable, but I mean, he's a main event.
It's just another rerun. It's a rerun episode over again. Drew McIntyre is gonna PMS. He's gonna get upset, and he's probably gonna call out CM Punk and all this.
But
other.
Don't we
know.
like PMS? Don't we like PMS? Drew McIntyre. Don't we like that?
At this point, Drew's probably gonna end up committing suicide, man. Like, I mean, this man's gonna have a nervous breakdown, man. Like, just imagine. I don't know what the hell. What exactly can he do next? He's gonna have to run CM Punk over with a car or some shit to take him out.
He's gonna hold Raw hostage. I could see him just Claymore kicking everybody. He is, yeah. He got into it with he got into it. What's his name? What's the GM of Raw? He got into it Nick Aldis, and he got into it with the GM of Raw. I forgot. I keep remembering he had something Diamond when he used to wrestle. But who's the GM of Raw?
Is he finally gonna quit? Is he finally gonna quit this time?
He's never gonna quit, bro. Who's the GM of Raw?
The guy that used to be GM.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know his name either. I know what you mean. I know what he looks like. Yeah.
The bald dude.
Yeah. Adam Pearce. God damn it.
Adam Pearce. Yeah.
I gotta take my ginger Globin, man, because it's too late at night. Adam. All right. Let's see. I'm about to wrap it up. Let's see who else. What else we gotta go through it. So I think we touched on a lot, man. Let's talk about NXT real quick because NXT Heat Wave is tomorrow. What's you guys' thoughts on NXT?
I think it might actually end up being a better pay-per-view than the Money in the Bank one. To be honest, they probably have better.
Yeah, probably will be
put together and better storyline.
I mean, I'll be honest. It's the women's matches, in my opinion, bro. Like, I want to see Jada Parker and I want to see Lola Vice. I want to see the Cheeks battle, bro. That's what I want to see. I want to see them. I'm watching NXT like we used to watch. What you call it? Like Raw, and when they used to bring out the puppies, because that's what it's gonna be, man. It's gonna be a lot of TNA and Sexy Redding because Lola Vice know how to she know how to dance a little bit. She know how to twerk. So it's gonna be.
You know, it's another interesting story. You know what's another interesting story, and I totally forgot is the the Judgment Day situation with them and Liv Morgan. I think that's pretty interesting. You know,
That's
Liv
going to
Morgan's doing her
continue.
thing though.
She's doing top tier work. I think the whole Judgment Day is doing top tier work. And speaking of that you brought that, what do you think about Damian Priest's run as champ?
I love his theme music. It's badass. Rise. So I mean, I get a kick out of it whenever he comes out. I mean, it makes him look like a. See, I don't know what to call Priest sometimes, man. I don't even know if he's a heel or if he's a face. He's like in between sometimes.
That's called a tweener.
I don't think. Yeah, he's definitely a tweener, but he's tweener is correct. He's not a face. He's not a heel because he wants to do everything on his own a little bit, but it just never happens that way. And you see how they zoomed in on my man Finn. You know that they got to go at it. Finn versus Damian.
Well, at the end of the match, did you see Damian kind of like shake his head at Punk because he knew that he didn't win by himself. He win because, and normally that's not really what heels really do. They usually don't give a shit as long as they get the win and they smile and they walk away. But Damian kind of feels like, hey man, I need to win this fair and square. So he's kind of got some face vibes going on. So I don't know. They're tweaking with him a little bit. They're teasing the breakup a little bit.
But
so I think.
Go ahead, Drew.
No, I was saying I think later on they might have a Civil War battle between the Judgment Day, and I think this is when Rhea comes back, and I think it might be Rhea. I think it's gonna be this, right? As crazy as it is, I think it's gonna be Rhea, Dom, and Priest, because Liv is fixing. She's moving the puzzles of the team. If you notice that, she's the manipulator and the master puppet, and she's caught. Remember, she said, "I'm taking everything away from Rhea. What Rhea had, I'm taking everything away, including her family." So I think she's gonna somehow divide the family. Finn Balor, I think, was in on this the whole time. I think he's the master puppet of it. Because remember the hotel key that was put down on the table from Dominic, and all of a sudden it got disappeared? Guess who took that key? Finn Balor.
Yeah.
And Priest confronted him. Why did you take that key? Oh, well, I was trying to hide it from Dominic. Yeah, okay. We know he went up to that room and got some cheeks.
Bro, they saved the Judgment Day. I don't know how they did it, but they saved it from where it was when Edge left. They saved it, and now with Damian Priest being a tweener, it actually makes him interesting because we don't know if he's a face or he's a heel, and we know that there's dissension. And they all look like they're about to break up. And then Carlito in the mix is hilarious too, because he's funny. He's not really Judgment Day, but you're cool. You know what I mean? So it's great. I like what they're doing with Damian Priest. I think his run is not as solid because of all these run-ins and all his matches. So I think he's gonna lose to Gunther, go through the whole Civil War with the Judgment Day, and hopefully he comes back out of it, better.
I don't know. I may have to disagree. I just don't think it makes any sense Gunther winning the championship for what? I mean, who does he have any beef with? Unless, I don't know. Because if you look at it, I don't know. It just depends. They have to build something between those two for me to be convinced that Gunther is going to pin him 1, 2, 3. But if there's no story or no back end to it, and they just have Gunther just beat Damian Priest and then he wins the title, then who does he defend it against next?
You know what I realized today? Some people didn't catch. Michael Cole said someone's name that they haven't mentioned in a long time. Brock Lesnar.
Yep, he's coming back.
We mentioned him on commentary, and if I'm thinking ahead now. The story is the Judgment Day. They don't need a title to be a story, to be interesting, to main event a pay-per-view. You can take the belt off of Priest safely with Judgment J shenanigans, have Gunther win because Gunther is strong, and have Gunther beat. I don't think he's gonna beat Brock, but you could have a Gunther Brock rivalry that's very strong and compelling, that elevates the title at the same time.
Yeah, they want to. I think I heard talks about them having setting up a Brock Lesnar Gunther feud for WrestleMania next year.
Well, that was also last year too, so it
didn't work, because of the whole thing with Vince happened, where now they can't really discuss Brock Lesnar all that much until now. So now they could actually set it up because he's in.
But the thing is, so you think that should be his final match?
Whose final match?
Brock Lesnar.
No,
it ain't his final match.
No, he does his.
So you think
he does his Roman schedule. He does his 2-3 matches a year and deliver and go back to his farm. That's it.
Yep.
But the thing is that I guess I don't know where you put him in the storyline. Where do you put him in?
You put him against Gunther as who's the badass.
That's the dream match.
But you don't need a title for that. You don't necessarily need a title.
They did it before, where they have Brock Lesnar win the title and then he goes back.
I don't want Brock Lesnar hogging up the title, man. We don't need that. We don't need another Brock Lesnar coming in and holding the title for a whole year, and then we don't see him until only pay-per-views. I don't want that.
Well,
I definitely don't want Brock. He don't need a title in this stage of his career. He doesn't need the title, man.
He doesn't need a title, but the title needs him. I'm gonna tell you why. Because the title only has two previous owners right now. They need someone else to keep the title elevated. So they need Brock as another mainstream champ to carry it over. So now
I get that, but don't you want to build on your new talent? Don't you need an outbreak on the next superstars? That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need the title.
But the person that beat Brock is going to get built.
Right.
Honestly, I think they should just keep it on Damian. I think Damian's just listen. I think they should have him on a winning streak for a while. But I don't think it should be Brock. I really don't. Brock doesn't need a title. I think he should come back and face Gunther. I'm all for that. But as far as them fighting for the belt, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
I got you. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. How are you gonna put Damian over Gunther? How's that happening?
I mean, it can. There's a way. There's a way of doing it.
How?
But most likely, it'll probably.
I don't see Gunther. I don't see Gunther walking the SummerSlam.
I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interference because doesn't he have a beef with somebody, or did he put somebody out of action? One of his members, one of the guys. What's his name?
No, he didn't.
Imperium.
You're talking about Da Vinci. Da Vinci got kicked out, and right now, what's his name is injured. Damn, I'm bad with names.
I forgot his name. Yeah.
The other member of Imperium. He's
Da Vinci.
Really, no, Da Vinci's got kicked out.
But Da Vinci, I think
he might be injured too, because he's supposed to go to NXT as far as I recollect.
But Da Vinci could come back. Da Vinci could come back and be a wild card in that match and interfere and have a beef with Gunther.
That would elevate Da Vinci,
and that could make maybe right, and that will save Priest from still being champion because of interference. I think the only way Priest is going to win is going to be an interference. I think Da Vinci might end up costing Gunther the match, and you're going to set those guys up with a rivalry going on because he needs to get his get back.
Ludwig Kaiser is who we're talking about. But for that to work, that would also mean that the Judgment Day doesn't break up.
Yep.
They can't. You know why they can't break up? They can't. I'm gonna tell you why they can't break up. Because you got to get you got to get Rhea back. Rhea has to fall back into the mix somehow.
And you think they're gonna let Liv
in order
hang
for them
around?
to break up?
Liv can't be nowhere near the Judgment Day when Rhea come back. Nowhere near.
Well, it's she's by the Judgment Day now.
Mommy's gonna
she's pretty much Judgment Day. If you look at it, she's
gonna kill you. I can hear it now, bro. Liv,
She wants her title back too.
Yo, real quick, Raha, I think, last time I forgot to ask you, just go over real quickly. I'm about to close out the show, but go over real quickly about your wrestling experience, because I think you said you actually did some amateur wrestling, like you went to wrestling school. Like, just talk about that real quick.
I was a high school wrestler, and I went to wrestling school, Bill Anderson School of Hard Knocks Wrestling in Riverside. He's the guy who he's trained Chris Jericho. He's trained Louis Spicolli, the late Louis Spicolli he was in WCW and ECW in the 90s. Let me see, who else did he train? Oh yeah, he trained Sting a little bit back in the day too, in the 80s. So, and also I went to Montclair High with Scorpio Sky. He's actually the first TNT champion in AEW. Yeah, I know him. So yeah, I used to do I did a couple of independent shows when I was training with Bill Anderson. So yeah, I have a little experience in the game as a wrestler.
Did you have a finishing move? Did you do like any top rope moves? Was it hard for you? Is it like tell us a little bit about that?
I would do like a Shawn Michaels style, Macho Man style elbow drop off the top. I'm more of a technical wrestler. I'm because of that high school freestyle wrestling background. Yeah, I did more the technical hold for hold and submission style wrestling. And I also got an MMA background. I got more into kickboxing, grappling, Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So I know how to do all of the like kind of like the label lock, like Daniel Bryan's, which is actually before you even get put in a crossface, that's a move called in MMA called an omoplata, and that hurts. They teach you that in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, where you put somebody's you use your leg to put somebody in an arm lock, and then you do the crossface. So that's the label lock. I know how to do it for real.
Okay. All right. You don't have anything on film, do you? Because that'll be dope. Next show, if you have anything on film, that'll be dope, bro.
I would have to really dig for that stuff. I mean,
it's probably on VHS.
Yeah, it's on VHS because this was like in the early 2000s when I got out of high school. When I was training for that stuff, I remember I had something recorded at the wrestling school.
It's probably on DVD, not VHS. I'm out of pocket for that.
VHS. Well, it was when VHS was starting to get phased out, and then DVDs were new. This is like the early 2000s. All right. I graduated in 2001.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna move to my final question, and we're gonna talk about Triple H's booking, and you can include tonight's in Money in the Bank in that. And I appreciate you guys for coming on. And I think I might do this again if I get enough likes. If I hit the like button and comment, help motivate me to make this a regular thing, because this is something I'm really passionate about, and it may be the direction for the channel. I know I'm part of like the travel space and stuff like that, but we all can't do the same thing. So just have that in mind. So what do you guys think about Triple H booking? I'm gonna go with you, Andrew. Then I'm gonna go back to you, Raha, and I'm gonna close it out.
Oh, okay. So compared to Vince McMahon's,
just overall? In general, your overall view from it. You include tonight. You can include from when he took over as creative officer, all of that stuff. Overall the overall status of WWE. We know it's hot right now. What's your opinion on the booking and the direction and stuff like that?
I mean, I think the booking is pretty great. I think the directions is pretty well. I still think he needs other people's supporters, and he also needs to, listen to the fans, man. Listen to the people. I mean, that's the most important thing. That's one thing that I think Vince was out of touch with the fans. But I think the bookings were great. There could be some nights where he can be kind of cold with shows, and I get it sometimes, and like for instance, like this Money in the Bank, I wasn't feeling it at all. I think he could have done a better job with it, especially with the turnout, the waste of the briefcase. I mean, I don't know, man. It just you tarnished the whole image of it, by giving it to someone that, if you're gonna at least give it to Drew McIntyre, you should have at least make him win it. Would have been better off, because then it would have at least showed some significant value in it. But then he just became another person that cashed in the briefcase and lost it. But hey, that's just my opinion. But overall, I think his booking has been pretty great. I like the fact that you can see that the creative freedom is now going towards the wrestlers, because the wrestlers are the ones that are playing these roles and these characters, and they're the ones that know them best. If you allow them to be themselves and play the character, you'll be amazed at the amount of talent that they can display, and they can come to life, just like a Bray Wyatt when he was around and he had the Fireflies and the Fiend thing going on. I remember when he was facing Seth Rollins in that I think it was I don't know if it was it wasn't a Hell in a Cell match.
It definitely was a Hell in a Cell match.
One of the worst ones ever.
Yep.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, that was horrible. And then you made Seth Rollins win that. I mean, he should have dropped the Fiend was hot. The Fiend was like he was supposed to be the next Undertaker, the next boogeyman, the that everybody's just afraid of, right? And you should have had him win the title, but then you had him do series of matches, and it started to get stale, and the people started to look at it like, what was going on here? And I love long-term booking. I like long-term storylines, and I think Triple H gets it from that aspect. So there's a difference between him and Vince McMahon. I just wish Triple H was head of charge a long time ago when Cena was in his prime, because then we could have seen a heel version of Cena. We never got to see heel Cena in WWE. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'd come into mind, and I think Cena would have been, because you notice that most when you can transition from being a face, because as you look at it, Cena was kind of getting the Roman Reigns treatment when Roman was a face, and it kept on forcing down Roman and everybody's throats, and people got tired of him when he was the big dog. And then when he turned into the tribal chief, it was like, oh shoot, this is something different. He had attitude. And most heels, I love heels. I'm a heel guy because heels can express themselves more than baby faces. But it seems like in this regime and in the Triple H regime, it seems like the heels and the faces are expressing themselves, and they have a little bit more spunk, more attitude, and that's what makes the product more interesting to watch, because long-term booking and storylines is the key. And I've been watching wrestling since I was 7 years old, and since the Macho Man was having his beef with Jake the Snake Roberts, mean, I've been a wrestling fan since them times. You know, what scared me the most is when I saw that python digging into Macho Man's skin, you know, like biting him. I was traumatized as a kid from that. So when you see
They
things
couldn't
like
get 'em
that,
all.
yeah, and then the Undertaker scared the hell out of me. And what's that guy with the voodoo guy? Papa Shango back then?
He later on
Those
became Godfather.
the
Yeah, he later on became
Godfather later on. But when he was Papa Shango, he was a scary sight. That man scared me because I remember I was an Ultimate Warrior. I was a big face fan. And when I seen Ultimate Warrior doing that one promo, I believe it was on I think it was like they had superstars on Saturday mornings.
challenge.
Yeah. And I remember all that goo that was coming down on the Ultimate Warrior's face, and it was from Papa Shango. Like things like that was traumatizing as a kid. But you love that suspense. Like that's the bookings and the long-term bookings and the storylines is what made wrestling interesting. And I think Triple H is bringing that essence back. So, you know, I'm glad to see it come into full circle, you know. So yeah, I mean, I'll give it like a rating from a scale of 1 to 10. I'll probably give it like a 7.5, close to 8. But we'll see what happens because he's just. Yep.
All right. Raha, go ahead.
As far as Triple H stepping in, there's a few changes that I like over how Vince was running it. Like Vince really got so far out of touch that it was just time for him to go. His policies sucked. When you see Triple H take over, you see a better product, and it started gearing more towards how it was kind of like in the Attitude Era. You started seeing a little bit more blood when it was necessary for the storyline. You saw better shoot interviews. Well, not shoot interviews, better interviews, because now they could swear a little bit more. So like they had better dialogue versus like when they had to go on the script that Vince wanted them to go on. And then the storylines are a little bit better too, because Triple H is much more in touch with the fans than Vince was. So yeah, it's better under Triple H right now than it was when Vince was still controlling everything. Like it was just time for Vince to go.
Well, listen, man, I'm gonna defend Vince a little bit. Well, only storyline and business wise, Vince did start the Bloodline storyline. I know people kind of forget, but it was started under Vince's regime, and we can't deny business is picking up. Triple H is doing what's best for business, but I love the long-term booking. However, it's becoming a little bit predictable, and I miss Vince's swerves. Usually Vince will have one match, you're like, what? During the pay-per-view, and we don't get that anymore. You know, and maybe I'm missing the wrench in the pay-per-view, the monkey in the wrench. I forgot the phrase, but I miss the swerves because I used to always, like, when I do predictions, and I'm thinking away how to make my predictions something we could do online where people could actually win a little money. You know what I mean? Because we have like a private group on WhatsApp that we do, and I'm the champ right now, but I gotta do the calculations for tonight because I don't think I think I lost with Drew. I actually chose Jay to win, and he didn't. Right? I do agree with Andrew that the talent, you can tell they are more free. You can tell the way that they perform now, even in the ring, on the microphone, that they have a lot more freedom. The back and forth between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is goated. Michael Cole is off the chain now. What's his name? The guy from NXT that's Carmella's boyfriend, Carmella's husband. I should say, and even McAfee and Wade Barrett. They all have been really, really good on commentary. Like they just been saying all type of funny shit. Like it's been good. So definitely that's a pickup. And Andrew, to your comment too, Cena was asked about him turning heel at the press conference, and he pretty much said no, he never gonna turn heel. So you can forget him.
It makes no sense. It makes no sense now doing that because he's pretty much at the end of his career and he's just doing a rodeo right now, just a road tour. So turning him heel is pointless now. They dropped the ball on that. They should have did it at his prime.
Before he was a face anyway. He was a heel when he had the rap gimmick at first, and then they turned him face.
Yeah, but when he was getting flushed down, it's Vince's fault too. When he was getting flushed down on people's throat, that's when Vince should have looked into creation and finding another person and making them a big face while you do the transition.
Roman Reigns?
Just like they did with Roman. Just like they did with Roman Reigns, do the transition and make Cena.
Yeah.
Listen, if Cena would have turned heel in his prime, right, you could have made him into an ultimate badass, right, to where nobody could beat him. He would have been just like a Roman Reigns. Now, people were booing Roman Reigns at the time too because he was being like the Cena 2.0, but then he evolved and they changed his character and then they made him heel. They actually pulled the plug and made him heel. And look what happened throughout this whole course of time, being the champion, running through wrestlers and stuff like that, and over 300 and something days, then to finally lose it to a big face like Cody Rhodes. Now you got to have the return. Now you're building up the anticipation of Roman's return. You know how much of a pop Roman's going to get coming back as a face?
Well, we already stated that Roman is more over now. He's not even on TV. But wait, I don't want you to forget this one thing. They shoved Roman down our throat this time also. Because remember, he beat the Fiends and Braun Strowman to win the first title. And he just came back. I think it was his first match back or his first pay-per-view back? He became champion. And we're like, what?
He beat it didn't make sense at first, but now it made sense.
Exactly. And then
it was the evolve of a new character.
Right? But we didn't know at the time. And then he beats Bryan and Edge.
It was Braun Strowman. It was Braun Strowman at first with the Fiend in that three-way. Right.
Yeah.
And that's when Roman got the title because he came in the middle of the match and he finally signed the contract to fight. I mean, that was an epic heel move to do. That was unheard of, but it was epic to do that. So he got the title and he pissed people off, but that's what you need. You need that heel heat. So he started to feel that, and then on top of it, that's when Paul Heyman was introduced as his manager, and then they just took the ball and it started to roll. So
definitely did. Listen, guys, we're going for an hour and 40 minutes. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm gonna have a better time step, but that conference kept going and long. But I thank you guys.
I'm like, when is this shit going?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
So thank you guys. Let's do this again, man. Let's do this. I don't think I want to do it for Heat Wave, but let's definitely do it.
Heat Wave is good, then we should absolutely do it.
If Heat Wave is good, and I don't think it's not going to be good because that, not to start all over again, but I think that 4-way match is good for Sean Spears, is good for Ethan Page, is good for that new guy, the young OG, and it's definitely good for Whoop That Trick. So it's
Williams.
Yeah, it's good for business. And what Triple H said, now I'm starting over again. What Triple H said on the conference was NXT is moving to CW. They're going to be making some changes when they go to CW. Everyone's getting excited. And he also spoke about NXT and that it's going to be even more edgier going on, not NXT, sorry, on Netflix. Raw going
Yeah.
on Netflix. It's gonna be more edgier. And it's gonna be a big show. And apparently John Cena is gonna be on that first episode on Netflix too. So it's gonna get crazy.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go back to the Attitude Era with it uncensored. It's gonna be more edgier than the Attitude Era. Yeah, that's gonna be great.
Let's do it. Let's do
More
it.
blood, more cussing.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. We're gonna get out of here.
Okay.
Yeah.